to Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10, 10 seasons of identifying entrepreneurs, 10 seasons of recognizing India's most innovative businesses. I'm Sananda Jayasheelan on the show tonight in our very special segment that we call Super Achievers, Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. We're featuring Geeky Ants. Also in conversation tonight is Mayank Ruia talking about second generation entrepreneurs and the real estate space. Our first interview tonight is by two young entrepreneurs who are driving the business from the front as far as Geeky Ants is concerned. Let me welcome live on the show the MD, Kumar, Pratik, and the CEO, Sanket, Sahu.
Geeky Ants is a young products and services development company based in Bengaluru. They specialize in building solutions for web and mobile that drive innovation and transform industries and lives. They are extremely passionate about building world-class products. Geeky Ants has worked with over 500 clients all across the globe, delivering tailored solutions to a wide array of industries like healthcare, finance, education, banking, gaming, manufacturing, real estate, and many more.
Sanket, thanks for taking the time to speak to us. Let's kick off today's conversation by talking about just the business and the company, and the name itself is quite unique, Geeky Ants. Where did that idea come about? What does the company do? Just let us in on that.
Geeky Ants is a technology company. We are into app development services and consulting services. We are headquartered here in Bangalore with about 400 folks all around India, across India. And we have some presence in UK and US as well. Apart from app development services, we invest heavily in R&D and open source around web and mobile app development.
Sanket, my question to you, was the plan to do something like Geeky Ants all along? How did that really come about?
We didn't plan it all out back then, but I can share a little bit about the story where it all began. It was somewhere around mid-1980s. My dad was researching algae as a part of his PhD in botany. And one fine day he came across an advertisement in a magazine about a technology that would change everything forever. And that piece of technology was computers. He bought his first computer from the money that he got from his university as a part of UGC grant. And he got it. He had no idea about how to even turn it on and what it could do. But he learned it. He started using it. He learned to code. And that's when me and Pratik, we were growing up back then. And we picked up coding, and we picked up a lot of things in and around computers. I was more interested towards looking at the user experience, like how it or what it meant for people who use computers, while Pratik was more interested in opening up the box and see how the wires are connected. And that's where it all began. And on the side, my dad, as he was actually teaching people around botany, he was also interested in sharing his knowledge in the small town back in Bihar about computers. He shared his knowledge with kids and students in the town. And that's where it all started.
Pratik, similar question to you. Just run us through the journey as it's been for you in terms of, just starting out Geeky Ants and what it's been like so far.
Hi, this is Pratik, Managing Director at Geeky Ants. I came to Bangalore in 2002 for my engineering, and there I started my career as a computer science engineer. Just after completing my graduation, I was looking out for different opportunities, and when I was exploring, I figured it out I needed to do some R&D works more towards the things which I love into the technology side. The R&D which I was exploring was there was not too many companies who were doing R&D works around.
Sure.
So I actually started my own organization that time itself, and started more on R&D stuff, which I love to do all the time. And one of the problem which I found it out was like when you start an organization, you will have to pay yourself. So I didn't find a way to generate revenue. So we came up with an idea to start generating revenue by doing consulting, and many of the things started then as a consulting business side of us. And I think the model of our business started as a 80-20, where 80% of the people started working into the consulting business, and 20% of the people started into the R&D. And most of our clients today know us because of our 20% of the work which we do, which is our R&D work. And that's how we begin with the Geeky Ants.
Sanket, anything you want to add?
Pratik started Geeky Ants on a very strong foundation of having R&D at the core. And also for the cash flow, we were working with different clients and helping them with their ideas and products. So we continued this 80-20, and soon we realized that this is working really well, and we scaled it up. We scaled up the model of 80% consulting services and 20% R&D. And R&D also includes a bit of open source, and it also includes getting involved with people inside and outside Geeky Ants too. So this worked as a good formula of like community building, having the social first culture at Geeky Ants, and making sure that we have the perfect balance between work and fun.
What is the problem that you were trying to solve, Sanket?
I think on a very high level, after we built Geeky Ants, we try to go back to like what exactly are we trying to do, right from helping our clients to helping the dev community. We've realized that the bigger vision that we have is to empower everyone to build things, and that's what we do in all of our efforts. And we do that in like 3 different categories. If you look at the categories are building tools, and then leveling up skills, and having talents who can help people to empower and help them build their ideas. In fact, when we talk about tools, skills, and talents, let me talk about talents a bit. So we have great talents here at Geeky Ants who are working with big companies all around the world to solve their problem, right from building their user experience, user interface, to maybe something like deeply backend and building their maybe back office management, or building their software dashboard internal tools and whatnot. When it comes to skills, we are leveling up the skills of people inside Geeky Ants, and we also do a bit of community part of it, wherein we help people to level up their skills with Geeky Ants Academy. And students across India from tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, they come and try to learn what we are trying to do and level up their skills, and they are job ready. This helps in massive job creation. And when we talk about tools, the third thing that we are doing, we are working with the dev community and helping build tools that help developers and even consumers to build softwares faster. And this falls into the category of no code, low code tools that we are doing.
Also, give us viewers a sense really of the culture that you're trying to build at Geeky Ants.
We are a young company, and that defines a lot about Geeky Ants. The average age at Geeky Ants is under 25. We have a pretty open culture, and that's for a reason. Open culture takes the heat off from developers and all the people at Geeky Ants. And when you want to push creativity and want people to perform at their best, you have to have a culture and atmosphere that balances out work and fun pretty well. And that's what we do. And that's why we have this thing of like social first, community driven company. And this does not only go inside Geeky Ants, but it also goes outside Geeky Ants. We are well connected with other great minds working in the same technology. in different companies. We host like one of the largest meetup groups here in Bangalore.
What is the importance of community at Geeky Ants?
I think community has been like really important, and it's been at the core of Geeky Ants. When you talk about one of the technologies that we started using back in 2016, we tried to connect with different communities around the world, not only here in Bangalore or outside Bangalore, but it was a global thing. We got connected to great minds in different companies trying to solve the same problem, and that not only gave us a bit of exposure, but also worked as a marketing strategy wherein we exposed ourselves to other folks all around the world. And we realized that this is very strong, because at a company when you are like 400 folks, you can only have like a certain type of mindset and certain type of exposure. But when you connect to other companies and other communities, you get exposed to a lot of different perspective, and that helps a lot. Geeky Ants has its strong roots in communities.
All right, let's end today's interview by asking you to talk about your future plans for the business, Sanket.
We'll continue doing what we are doing. We have this 80-20 ratio of 80% services and 20% R&D. If there is any R&D project or any product on the side that picks up, we'll scale that up too. But we'll keep doing things like what we have been doing. And at the very bottom layer, we have this vision of empower everyone to build things. So we'll continue that.
Sanket, Pratik, thanks so much for your time. I'm going to slip into a short break on that note. On the other side, our third young entrepreneur joining us in the hot seat tonight is Mayank Ruia of MAIA Estates. Back in just a moment. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, bringing you part 2 of a conversation that I did with Mayank Ruia of MAIA Estates, where he talks to us, amongst other things, about the real estate space, what it means to be a young entrepreneur, and also what it means to be part of a well-established business family but charting his own path. Listen in. I started this conversation by talking to you about the interest that you've got from some key investors, Ranjan Pai, Mohandas Pai, amongst others, from what I understand. My question to you really is, for an entrepreneur who's watching, what was that experience like? You know, what perhaps in your projects did they really get interested in? How did you maybe have to market it? What was that experience like is what I'm trying to understand, whether an entrepreneur is pitching to an investor or just trying to find a mentor who can help them in the business.
Sure. Look, I think first off, I've been very fortunate in my life to be blessed with great people around me, and certainly with our partners here, very, very great partners to be able to call partners when you're starting a business on your own in a field like real estate development, which is capital intensive, which is old world as is seen in nature. So I'd say as a business, we've been very lucky to have them with us, and as a person, I've been very fortunate to have them as partners. In terms of what they perhaps looked at, in as much as I am aware, is they were looking at investing in a business that that perhaps stood for a large amount of evolution in the space. A lot of reimagining things like quality, timelines of execution, planning, corporate governance, a general ethic code, and being able to marry all these things together and really create a business that stands on the core values of taking this old sector forward a notch. I think that's what they probably saw, and that's what we've tried to do as a business.
You said traditional. That really brings me to my next question. As a trend that we're seeing increasingly, a lot of young people are saying they perhaps don't want to invest in real estate because that's seen as old or traditional when it comes to a form of investment. How are you seeing that really playing out as far as your consumer base is concerned? Or, is that a trend perhaps that is worrying for you, and how do you see that?
So I thought we worried about it. I think we worried about it a lot more pre-pandemic. Okay. Because pre-pandemic, the millennial generation, so to speak, I think it was popularly known to want to spend their money on traveling, on good food, experiences, and not necessarily block a large part of their earning into a fixed asset such as a home, which then keeps you a little bit more grounded, But I think what's happened with the pandemic is people have said to themselves, listen, this may happen again. And if it does happen again, I need a place to call my own, because I believe there were people who got displaced during the pandemic in the renters market, because maybe those homes were rented by or from people that didn't live in certain cities. Maybe they had to come back to their own homes. All of a sudden, where do you go to? You go to your own home. Yeah. And so therefore that displaced a few people. So I think that sense of security, or rather insecurity of not having a home, is why we are seeing also a little bit of an uptick in the market post the pandemic. Look, I think attention spans today, Sunanda, are lower than perhaps what they were. So I don't know what the world will bring in the next year or 2 or 3 as far as people wanting to commit capital into a home is concerned. But I think the entire industry will evolve to what the customer or this millennial generation actually wants, right? So at the end of the day, you please your customer. That's how you do business. So I think we will evolve if it has to move to a renter's market and we need to provide service offerings as available apartments to rent. That's what people will end up doing. Okay. If there are aggregators of apartments that aggregate them and then rent them, perhaps that's what those people will do.
So let me then perhaps end today's interview by asking you, this is your 3rd project in Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken?
In Bangalore, for me personally, this would be my 4th project.
Your 4th project. So what's next for you? What expansion plans on the cards could you share with us?
Exciting stuff ahead. Obviously, we've spent the last 6 years building a business as a building is built very carefully with the correct foundation, with the correct building blocks, the correct technology, but most importantly, the correct people. And I think for us, the future immediately is a little inward looking into Bangalore. We believe there is a ton of opportunity in Bangalore, and great city-centric type opportunities, where because of, I guess, the popularity of this development and a couple of ones that I may have personally been associated with in the past, and definitely the one MAIA Estates has done in Jakkur, I think we're beginning to be identified with quality and delivery and superior planning of spaces. So I think we're getting a great look at some really good assets in Bangalore, and so we will continue to focus on building very premium, I'm not talking about very expensive, I'm saying very well built premium assets within perhaps the 1st and 2nd rings of Bangalore city. Okay. That's what we're gearing up to do.
Since we've been speaking about the pandemic, I must ask you, how did you manage, and I understand you continued building and selling one of your key projects here in Bangalore, even during the pandemic. What was that like?
Well, the pandemic came and came fast and hit us all fast, and all of a sudden, all the labor wanted to leave. But luckily for us, Sunanda, before the pandemic ever came, we had sort of reimagined what labor meant to us and how they should be living and how they should be taken care of. So we had actually built out an in situ labor facility, and we had been providing them with food and healthcare, basic hygiene, and just treating them what we hope is a little bit better than their traditional treatment. So when the pandemic came, we were actually, and we had to do this, we had to appeal to them to say, listen, you are actually safer here. You are better fed, your health is taken care of, you're protected, and you have a livelihood. So we did go through a lot of stop and start, as everybody did. But fortunately, we never saw a day where everybody was gone and there was absolutely no work happening. So I think, because we were a little bit ahead of that curve, we got lucky as well, and it saved us. And we were able to deliver Pelican Grove, which is our first asset on the banks of Jakkur Lake in Bangalore, within 3 years, as was promised and committed. Through the pandemic and despite it. And we also managed to sell because of the momentum of sales and the momentum of construction through that same time period. So that's something we're really proud of and something we learned a lot from.
Okay, and all the very best for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayank.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks.
That's all we could manage to pack into the show tonight. If you have any feedback for us, do let us know. Our contact details on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.